Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Harakakadaki. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great most son of the world. Shalom to all the brothers doing what? Sincerity and truth, pushing this word to the four corners. It's got a little lesson. More or less going to be diving into how, now, through with the nature of how the world's gone, it's like everyone's been deceived. Everyone's in darkness, especially Jake, man. And, that's how really Jake desires it to be. That's how they desire things to continue. And that's part of why everything that's coming, it's going to be a shock. It's going to catch people with their pants down, completely confounded. And as well, why this place has got to go, man. Because in reality, this place is just a web of deception, man. Like how it was built, how it was attained, lies, death, robbery, and how it's maintained. Same thing. It's still continued. It's more or less been the same system, just now the market is superior market. So I'll start with this. Isaiah 16:1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh is risen unto thee. And that's what, we're striving for. Us are the hopeful elect. We're looking to, receive that, that blessing being transformed, basically put into those extraterrestrial bodies where we're perfected. We're no longer going to be, subject to sin. We're no longer going to be in the chains of darkness. We're going to be perfected, so where we're able to, maintain the law perfectly. It says what? For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness of people. So yeah, darkness has covered the earth, and gross darkness of people. Because why? Now everyone out there, as far as even what light is on the face of the earth, people don't even know. People aren't even aware of what righteousness, what light is. Everyone's more or less concept of it. They don't even have the concept, of righteousness now become, being a good person, which is the vaguest definition on the planet Earth. But hey, these things have been done. Why? Because then you've moved completely away from the scriptures, and you're then able to set, parameters for whatever it is. You can basically make anything you want mean anything you want. So I read this. Isaiah 30. Isaiah 30 and 8. Oh no, verse 9 says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. So, for Jake especially, that's something that they're desirous of. Jake is, they run after what? Prosperity, fame, wealth. They're basically looking for ease, to be at rest within the society. But then, Micah 2 and 10 says what? This is not your rest. Arise ye and depart. And that's really the mindset you're meant to be in. Now, if you're a so-called Negro, Hispanic, or Native American Indian, if you're an Israelite, this is not a place of rest. This is a place where you need to rise and depart from. Because why? It's part being within the system anyway. It's part of the reason Jake's in the state they're in. It's like you go back to the time of the Romans when Jake was getting Hellenized. Jake was left in a completely destroyed state. And it says what? That they went since they departed, they got out of the place of exercise. But since they departed from the heathen, they had much sorrow. Jake was looking for that ease. We say to the seers, see not, And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. That's really rough. Because as far as for now, when you look at the heads, when you look at the leadership within Israel, deceit is the main thing being prophesied. What they sell on is what? A dream. They sell on some, some aspirations for the future, some hope for a better time, but it's always within the same system. But as far as for Jake, hey, what we really should be leaning on is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Looking to the heathen for any kind of reprieve, any kind of rest, any kind of love. That's a complete wrong place to find it. But that's something that, when Jake's hard-headed, they go back to it time and again. Exodus 32:1, it said, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves unto Aaron and said unto him, up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what has became of him. And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives and of your sons and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And when he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf, and they said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So yeah, Jake was always looking for what? Some form of, some form of easy approach to kind of, to basically bring them out of whatever, to fulfill whatever their desires are, man. Because as far as it was like, oh, we don't know what's gone down, we're out in the wilderness. We don't know what's gone down with, with Moses. Just give us a, we saw the miracles as we're leaving Egypt. We're going to throw that in a bin and just give us another idol to worship, so that we can, we can basically say, yeah, this is what saved us out. So we can basically look to that for any form of salvation. But that's, that's the same BS, man. The same smooth things. And it said, and when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord Yahweh. And they rose up early on the morrow and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, go get thee down, for thy people, which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and sacrificed thereunto. That's the same thing with Jake now. Jake is looking to, they're sacrificing to, they're giving honor to all these different channels and pathways that they're hoping to lead to some form of ease. But, as far as dealing with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, it's always been a straight game. It's always been a narrow path. There's a very small way in which you're meant to approach that relationship, and that's always forever been an issue with Jake. And have sacrificed thereunto, and said, these be thy gods, O Israel, which have brought thee up out of Egypt. And the Lord said unto Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make thee a great nation. So yeah, Jake from the onset, that's how they got down. And then it was even more so when Yahushua was on the scene. Thousands of years later, and then even thousands of years beyond that, Jake fall into the same issues, which is why what? There needed to be, the sacrifice of Yahushua to give the pathway to salvation, man. Because Jake wasn't gonna arrive there by himself. Another example here, Matthew 23:15 says what? Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you can pass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe unto you, blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools are blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift on or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? And that's really what the Jake giving honor, giving value onto, you know, the things of carnal worth. But then what? When it comes to spiritual matters, because as far as for the temple, that's something that even the physical form of the temple was a representation of something that later wouldn't even be physical. Well, be within Israel. But then the honor is far more to that than the gold. And that's what shows in their mind. All they're thinking about is what? The carnal side. And that's been Jake. That's you know, one of the main weaknesses, the main flaws Jake's had and still has. So now within so-called black culture, what's the main thing? Aspiring for wealth, fame, success, the things that come with fame, success, women, riches, you know, jet setting, going on holiday, fast cars, all these different things. These are the things that are held in esteem. I'll say this, 1 Thessalonians 5:1, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. So yeah, as far as for, you know, those of the elect, you know, we as a hopeful elect, we desire ourselves to be among that number. We strive, you know, we work so we can be among that number. What? You know, we're, Lord willing, through the Spirit, we're not in darkness. We've basically had the light shown to us. We've basically been woken up to be made aware of what, you know, the nature of the society, and, you know, what feeding into those channels, how it ain't gonna get you shit. It says what? That day should overtake you as a thief. So that means that we're basically gonna be aware, we're gonna see the prophecies and whatnot, prophecies, the signs, that show the times that what? Yahushua is looking to make his return. And then, hey, with that, then we know what's coming. We ain't going to get caught out. It's not just going to be Yahushua returns and then we're like, oh, what? Wow. Completely unexpected. It'll be a thing where we've, you know, we've seen what? The mark going out. We've seen World War III. We've seen, you know, the famine, pestilences, all these different angles by which, you know, it's been shown Yahushua is going to make his return. It's, you know, it's not a surprise. It says, ye are all children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as the others, but let us watch and be sober. Yeah, so we're not going to be sitting there meditating about, you know, thinking about how we're going to make our first milli and then our second, you know, and the first 10 and whatnot. We're meditating on what? The coming destruction of this place, man. The prophecies being fulfilled, us being able to maintain through our temptation. These are the things, you know, that we're meditating. Therefore, let us not sleep as the others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For the Most High hath not appointed unto us the wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Yeah. So we're essentially, our role, our job is to be watching for these things, to be seeing these signs, to be, you know, blowing a horn, warning of these signs, and then as well, to not be taken by surprise. Lord willing, you know, get saved out of it when, you know, when the time comes, man. When the time comes for this place to be put to its end. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, the Shem God, special stuff. Shalom.